We kicked off 2015 with a look at what the new year could bring for the property markets, which cities will be on top and the locations that would sell. Today we're telling you what the home buyer might be looking for this year, what kind of homes are hot on their wish list and what kind of price appreciation they should expect. Jude Sanit brings you the numbers.
Hot on the heels of 2014's big political mandate, 2015 could also be a year of change, this time for Indian real estate. Property portal indiaproperty.com conducted a survey late last year on what the Indian home buyer looks forward to this year. In NCR, nearly 78% of respondents said they wanted lesser property fraud, while over 60% of these potential buyers said they would choose a developer with a solid track record. The Mumbai metropolitan region, on its part, wants quicker completion schedules this year. Over 50% of MMR's respondents, in fact, picked execution delays as their big concern. This throws the spotlight on the need for diligence and choosing the right developer.
You need to have credible background in terms of delivering a product year on year, and most importantly, getting approvals post-construction, that is occupation certificate. That's been a big challenge in Mumbai and big challenge in NCR. So this is somewhere the credibility of developer is very, very critical, and coming to a point that you need to buy a right product from a right developer.
But that's not all on Mumbai's wish list. Nearly 38% of future home buyers here want homes with a price tag of less than 30 lakh rupees, while 60% respondents want a one-bedroom apartment. But down south, there's little fuss over affordability. In Bangalore, 3 BHK homes make for hot property, provided there's solid infrastructure in the vicinity. Curiously enough, 70% of respondents in Bangalore said they would choose a location first before zeroing in on a project.
Bangalore, people who are looking at staying very close to their office, it's a 10-20 minutes drive what they're looking at. First they define the area and then they define the budget. So that's the advantage Bangalore continues to have.
Further down south in Chennai, a sleepy little property market yearns for a lease of life. With negligible price appreciation in the last 2 years, 55% of home buyers in Chennai now want solid returns on their investment. Other priorities include better social infrastructure, better maintenance, and lesser red tape.
In the last 1.5 years, yes, the market's been sluggish, no doubt at all. But 2015, from what we see, looks a promising year. We have the budget around the corner. We are hoping that the interest rates should get tweaked, and it's advantageous to the buyer.
If there's one thing all these numbers seem to agree on, it's simply the fact that our property markets are currently in a state of evolution. Whether it's Bangalore positioning itself as a destination for the young and ambitious, or Mumbai's clamour for more affordable homes, or the Chennai buyer simply wanting more from his investment, 2015 could change the way we look at real estate itself. Reporting from Chennai, this is Jude Sanit for NDTV.
2014 was called the year of transformation for India politically, and it is hoped that 2015 will be the year of the recovery for the economy and the property markets. We just looked at the findings of the survey by indiaproperty.com that tries to gauge what property seekers are looking for in 2015. We are now joined by the CEO of indiaproperty.com, Ganesh Vasudevan, to help us understand the findings of their latest market study. Ganesh, thank you so much for joining us today. Let's begin by talking about Chennai. It's a market that hasn't really performed on the price appreciation front in the last 2 years, and 55% of the home buyers in your survey say that they want real price appreciation. Do you feel this market can meet these expectations?
Well, Chennai is a relatively risk-averse market in the sense that the residents here, one, purchase primarily with an with the intent to live in that apartment, and two, their decisions are driven more by a lot more visible development and certainty on infrastructure falling in place, and therefore price appreciation is a very important factor that the Chennai buyers expect in terms of any real estate investment goes. Over 60% of consumers expect significant price appreciation. Now, what has happened in the last 2 years is that a lot of infrastructure projects which were announced have either been delayed or not even taken off, particularly on the outer peripheral areas, in the areas of connectivity in terms of sewage and water supply. There are several infrastructure issues which have to be dealt with first to make these areas livable and therefore start supporting any price increase. Now expectations that were set in the last 2 years haven't truly been met on the infrastructure front, and that's one prime reason why price appreciation has not really met expectations. On the other hand, the IT sector also has not grown as expected, and so has the manufacturing sector, which has taken a setback with the recent closures of large factories. So these two factors have not really contributed to any price increase, and the market has kind of underperformed in the last 2 years. But there is scope for improvement provided the government delivers on the infrastructure promises that have been made.
Ganesh, the highlight of your Bangalore result in the survey is simply the fact that 60% of prospective buyers say they want to buy a 3 BHK unit. And this is a young real estate audience that we're talking about. So do you feel big purchasing power in this market could hold promise for its residential market?
No, actually 3 BHK is a kind of a misnomer. You need to look at it in conjunction with the budget ranges that the 3 BHK connotes, and it kind of reflects the kind of reduction in apartment sizes for a given configuration that's been a national trend, more so in the south. So earlier 3 BHK used to be a 1500-1600 square feet flat. Today we are talking 1100-1200 square feet. So much so that the absolute price has come down. So 3 BHK here is essentially price range of 50 to 60 lakhs, which is not truly in the high-end segment of the market that Bangalore is. Having said that, there is significant demand for luxury and upper affluent housing in Bangalore, and that's a good market to be addressed with.
Now coming to MMR, 2014 saw the launch of nearly 12,000 low-cost homes in the MMR area, but there's so much demand for affordable housing in this market that 12,000 seems like a very small number. So how many more low-cost homes you feel are required to meet this demand?
I mean, what's affordable is a relative term. In a Mumbai context, the 80 lakh apartment is considered affordable. But truly, if you see, the demand fabric is more skewed towards the sub 30 lakh price point in terms of maximum demand for apartments is in that price range. So having said that, which is more towards redevelopment of slums and demand that is originating from there for people who have moved up their the social economic stratum. So Mumbai has a population of about 21 million. So even by a very conservative estimate, we need about 1 million homes in this price band to truly house or rehabilitate these residents.
Ganesh, your survey shows that buyers in the National Capital Region are the most wary when it comes to property frauds, with 62% respondents preferring developers with a solid track record. Now in 2015, do you see NCR's numbers improving?
No, it's not just about improvement in transparency of propriety, but it's got to do more with the macroeconomic picture in the overall real estate market, which is likely to give a fillip to the real estate market across the country, with an NCR in particular. NCR has been typically an investors market, and these investors need end users to get exits on the investments. But the number of end users, the actual buyers, is not growing. It's actually shrinking. And in the last few years, in a hurry to really launch quick projects and make or give good promises on pre-launch and pre-launch offers, several developers have launched projects without actually seeing the execution of these projects, and that has resulted in a big backlash in terms of lack of credibility and promises being made. Today, even a 1.5 year, 2 year delay is more the norm than the exception. So that needs to be addressed, and hopefully that will happen in the next year or so. But a bigger fillip is expected by the economic turnaround. Thankfully, interest rates have started their downward cycle now, which should be a good fillip to trigger off end-use consumption in these markets.
That was Ganesh Vasudevan, CEO of IndiaProperty.com, sharing with us the outlook for 2015 from the buyer's perspective. Ganesh, thank you so much for joining us.